Get to North Korea. I want to bring in former CIA operations officer Bryan Dean Wright. Right, Bryan, welcome to the program.
Very good day.
Maybe I'm naive, but I just can't see the North Koreans actually firing off any missiles aimed at Guam. Can't see it.
Not a chance. Because they know that if they do, they're gone. They're done, the whole country.
That's what General Jack Keane told us this morning. Four-star retired general. He said, look, you show them that you can take them, and you convince them that you'll do it if provoked. That's where we are, I think.
That's absolutely correct. So the next challenge for President Trump is, what are the next cards to be played? Because he really has four, arguably five. One is certainly diplomacy, right? Working with Secretary Tillerson, going over to Beijing, and indeed back-channeling with Pyongyang and seeing what we can do in terms of a deal. The next step is targeted strikes, right? You know, taking out a very select number of ballistic missile production facilities, nuclear facilities, maybe some roads or railroads going into China, disrupt that trade. That's obviously very risky.
But that will be a preemptive strike. That will be us firing the first shot.
That's right.
Do you think we'd do that?
I think if you want to send a message to Kim Jong-un and the Chinese that we're serious and it is no longer business as usual, you absolutely do that. The challenge,
we
though,
would do that without provocation? I mean,
sure.
They don't fire the first shot. We do.
Sure.
You think we'd actually do that?
I think it is absolutely something the president is considering, unquestionably, right? The next step that you look at is decapitation, right? Taking out Kim Jong-un. And that is working with the Chinese because they will have to deal with the repercussions of this, not necessarily the United States, right? So if you take out President Kim, you're going to have to work with the Chinese to say who comes next, right? That's the big and challenging key to that scenario or possibility.
This is a frightening prospect you're laying out.
Yeah.
A preemptive strike on the part of the United States, possibly followed by the decapitation of the regime in North Korea. Is that the kind of talk that goes on inside the CIA?
Well, I think
if you're allowed to tell me.
Fair enough. Look, you have to look at these possibilities because what have we done for the past 10 to 15 years? Well, we've done sanctions, which have gone nowhere. North Korea has only added more nuclear missiles, or at least the ballistic missile capability and trajectory has only gone further and further in terms of its reach. They have more nuclear weapons than they've ever had before. So there is something that has to change. And I think that's what President Trump understands, is he has said very clearly, no more business as usual. China, help us. And if you're not willing to help us, then we're going to have to start doing things on our own, and it's going to be much more risky.
So as a guy who was formerly on the front lines, you're comfortable with the President Trump's stance at this point?
I am. And I think that he is doing exactly what he needs to do, along with Secretary Mattis, saying, look, you guys keep this up in North Korea. You're jeopardizing your regime, its future, and frankly, your people. We will go to war if we have to.
You mentioned Secretary of State Tillerson. Yeah. He's gone to Guam, right? Does he then go to Beijing? Did you say that? I mean, I'm not aware of his travel plans.
No, but what I think is happening is a lot of back-channel conversation between Secretary Tillerson
inevitably
and Beijing, and indeed Pyongyang. I think that's happening as well.
Okay, look, Bryan, thanks very much for joining us. You know what you're talking about, and a lot of the rest of us do not. All right, thanks, Bryan. Appreciate it.